They say that high in the mountains, where the silence is so profound it seems to speak for itself, monks guarded a secret capable of transforming the most restless nights into a haven of calm. It wasn't a chant, a prayer, or a medicine. It was a gesture so simple it seemed impossible that it could possess such power. A gesture that could heal insomnia, release anxiety, and restore the soul's lost confidence. Today we open that hidden book, the one never written on paper, but passed down from master to disciple as a sacred legacy. Prepare yourself, because what you are about to hear is not just a technique. It is a rite of self-love, a bridge to inner peace. Before starting this video, remember to subscribe and like it. It all begins with a silent question. Why does the body lie down but the mind cannot rest? The monks said that insomnia is not a punishment but a sign. An inner voice that whispers, there is something you haven't let go of yet. And on those nights when thoughts become a storm, the soul waits at the door, seeking a gesture that reminds it that it can still trust. That gesture was the butterfly embrace. Imagine a monk in his cell, arms crossed over his chest, right hand on his left shoulder and left on his right. Nothing more was needed. In that instant, the body remembered what the mind had forgotten. That peace is not sought outside but is reborn within. The gentle movement of the hands, like invisible wings opening and closing, was not accidental. It was a secret language between the heart and the conscience, a reminder that you are safe. As the breath synchronized with the rhythm of the hands, something invisible was happening. The mind ceased its struggle, trapped emotions began to release, and the nervous system entered into coherence. It was as if the soul, weary of waiting, finally found its home. The master said, "Don't try to sleep. Try to embrace yourself until the soul ceases to fear." And in that embrace, insomnia dissolved, not because the body surrendered, but because the spirit regained its trust. This is how this journey begins. With a simple gesture that opens the first door, the door to inner reconciliation. Because sleep is not closing your eyes, it's opening your heart. Open Book Chapter 2. The second step on this journey begins when we understand that insomnia is not the enemy but a messenger. The monks said that each sleepless night was like an invisible bell ringing to remind you that something inside you still longs to be heard. It is not the body that protests, but the soul gently knocking at the door, asking to be let in. In this chapter, the story leads us to recognize that deep sleep is not conquered by force, but by surrender. Sleep is an act of faith, closing your eyes and trusting that life will continue its course without your intervention. But when the mind insists on controlling even the night, the body remains alert and the soul is suspended, unable to surrender. The teachers taught that true medicine isn't in the pill, but in inner reconciliation. Insomnia is a sign of trapped emotions, unexamined truths, and lingering guilt. And until these are acknowledged, the mind will continue to cast shadows in the darkness. That's why the butterfly hug isn't just a physical gesture. It's a silent conversation with your spirit. Each rhythmic movement, each deep breath, is a reminder that you can let go, that you don't need to fight your thoughts, but rather embrace them until they dissolve. This chapter shows us that peace isn't imposed, it's remembered. That rest doesn't come when you close your eyes, but when you open your heart. And in that instant, when the soul feels accepted, sleep ceases to be a battle and becomes a return. A return to your origin, to the trust you had forgotten. The third chapter reveals the mystery of the hands as guardians of the heart's memory. The monks taught that the hands are not mere limbs, but channels of divine energy, capable of recalling what the mind forgets. Every time you cross them over your chest, you awaken a sacred circuit. The touch becomes a bridge between your body and your soul, and the heart receives the message that fear had silenced: you are safe. The butterfly hug is not just a physical movement, it's an ancient language. The alternating rhythm of the hands on the shoulders represents the balance between the brain's hemispheres, the rational and the emotional, giving and receiving, action and surrender. In that gentle swaying, like the fluttering of a butterfly's wings, trapped emotions begin to release, the mind quiets, and the nervous system enters into coherence. It's as if the body remembers its original music and dances to it once more. The masters said that hands hold the memory of love, of comfort, of healing touch. That's why, when you place them on your chest, you're not just touching your skin but caressing your very essence. The gesture activates the heart chakra, awakening the energy of compassion and tenderness. And in that instant, the soul ceases to feel alone because it recognizes that someone is holding it, yourself. This chapter invites us to understand that the true power of the butterfly hug lies not in the technique, but in the intention. It is not the movement that heals, but the awareness with which you perform it. Each rhythmic pressure is a reminder that you don't need to fight your thoughts. Simply embrace them until they transform into calm. In this way, insomnia ceases to be an enemy and becomes an opportunity. The opportunity to return to your heart and remember that peace has always been within you. The fourth chapter leads us to the heart of the nightly ritual. The monks understood that night was not simply a period of darkness, but a sacred space where the soul could return to its origin. Before sleeping, they sought no distractions or complicated rituals. They lit a candle, breathed deeply, and embraced like butterflies. This gesture became an invisible bridge between the body and the divine. The butterfly hug was more than a movement, it was a silent prayer offered with the body. Each crossing of the arms over the chest awakened the heart's memory, and each deep breath opened the door to trust. The masters said that sleep is the deepest act of faith, because when you close your eyes you surrender control and trust that the universe will sustain your life. Therefore, the gesture wasn't meant to force sleep, but to create the internal conditions for rest to come naturally. In that nightly ritual, the body ceased to be a battlefield and became a temple. The mind, which clings to control during the day, learned to let go in the gentle rhythm of the hands. And the soul, which so often waits outside, finally found its home in the warmth of the embrace. It was a reminder that you don't need everything to be perfect outside to have peace within. This chapter teaches us that every night can be a return, an opportunity to reconcile with yourself. The butterfly embrace is not just a gesture for better sleep. It's a ritual that transforms darkness into refuge, turns silence into companionship, and reminds the soul that it has never been alone. Because when you cross your arms over your chest, you not only support yourself, but you also allow the divine to support you. The fifth chapter reveals the hidden symbol that gives this practice its name, the butterfly. Since ancient times, this creature has represented spiritual awakening, the journey from darkness to light. First, it is a caterpillar, heavy, limited, earthly. Then it withdraws into itself, going through a stage of silence and apparent death, until it is finally reborn with wings. The monks saw in this process the same journey that every soul makes each night while sleeping. The butterfly hug is a mirror of that transformation. When you cross your arms over your chest, your body becomes an inner cocoon. There, in the stillness, you begin to release what no longer belongs to you: fear, anxiety, guilt. Each breath is a thread weaving the metamorphosis, each rhythmic pressure a reminder that darkness is not the enemy, but the space where light prepares to be born. Sleep, then, ceases to be mere rest and becomes an act of daily resurrection. Upon waking, you are a little lighter, freer, more aware of the energy that dwells within you. The masters said that each night is an opportunity for rebirth, and that the butterfly's embrace is the bridge that allows your soul to unfurl its invisible wings. This chapter invites us to understand that insomnia is not an obstacle, but a sign that your metamorphosis has not yet begun. And that every time you hug yourself, you remind yourself that transformation is possible, that within you there is a butterfly waiting for the moment to fly. The sixth chapter opens the door to the encounter between ancestral wisdom and the perspective of modern science. For centuries, monks intuited that the butterfly embrace not only calmed the soul but also reorganized the body's energy. Today, scientific studies confirm what they already knew. When the hands alternately stimulate the chest, a synchronicity between the brain hemispheres is activated. This balance creates a state of coherence between the heart and the brain. Breathing becomes regulated, emotions stabilize, and the nervous system enters into harmony. It's as if the entire body remembers its original language, a language of calm and trust that had been hidden beneath layers of anxiety and repetitive thoughts. Science calls it heart coherence, but sages described it as the moment when the soul regains its trust in life. Each rhythmic pressure sends a signal to the brain: there is no more danger, you can rest. And in that instant, the rational self and the spiritual self stop fighting and begin to work together. The result is a state of inner flow, where the mind quiets down and the body surrenders to rest. This chapter shows us that the butterfly hug is not only a spiritual ritual, but also a tangible bridge to health. Science and tradition meet at the same point. The recognition that deep rest does not depend on forcing sleep, but on creating the internal conditions for the body and soul to return to their natural balance. The 7th chapter marks the end of the journey, the moment we understand that the butterfly hug is not just a sleeping technique, but a ritual of self-love and communion with the divine. Each night, when you cross your arms over your chest and breathe consciously, you are not simply calming your nervous system. You are reminding your soul that it belongs in a safe place, that it can rest without fear. The monks said that sleeping after a butterfly embrace isn't closing your eyes, but returning to your origin. In that profound silence, consciousness expands, the body regenerates, and the spirit prays without words. It's as if the universe itself envelopes you in its invisible wings, holding you in a space where time and worries no longer exist. This chapter teaches us that peace doesn't depend on everything being in order externally, but on inner reconciliation. The simple gesture of embracing yourself becomes a sacred language. You tell the universe, "I trust, I let go, I rest in your light." And in that instant, the wounds of the past soften, anxiety dissolves, and the soul reconnects with its own essence. Sleep ceases to be routine and transforms into communion. Each night is an opportunity to heal what the day couldn't touch, to be reborn a little freer, more conscious, more luminous. The butterfly embrace is then an eternal reminder. You don't need to fight against your thoughts, simply hold yourself with tenderness. Because when you embrace yourself with presence, it is divinity itself that embraces you through you. And so we come to the end of this journey. The butterfly hug is not just a sleeping technique. It's a reminder that peace isn't found outside, but awakens within you. Every night, when you cross your arms over your chest and breathe consciously, you are saying to the universe, "I trust, I let go, I rest in the light." That simple gesture becomes a bridge between your body and your soul, between your humanity and the divine. The monks knew it. Sleep is an act of faith, a return to the source. And when you sleep mindfully, insomnia dissolves, wounds heal, and the soul feels supported. The butterfly hug is more than a movement. It's a ritual of self-love, a silent prayer that reminds you that you've never been alone. Tonight, when you turn off the light, don't take your thoughts to bed. Take your embrace. Allow your invisible wings to unfold and let calm find you. Because every breath is a return, every heartbeat is a prayer, and every night can be a new beginning if you choose to rest in your own peace. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. See you in the next video.